Well, hello, Facebook friends. We're back again in this day-long celebration of Harry Chapin's 75th birthday, if you can believe it. And we are moving on to just a wonderful interview with Vicki Silverman of a wonderful organization out of Kansas City called M Spotlight. How are you doing today, Vicki?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
I'm excited to celebrate Harry's 75th birthday.
Can you imagine if he was around today, what he would think of what we're doing right now? Here I am in San Diego. You're in Kansas City. We're all still getting to kind of party a little bit around his birthday.
Yeah, I don't think he'd like all the attention on him, though.
Yeah, you're probably right. Absolutely. Well, first of all, tell us a little bit about your connection with Harry, and then we'll talk a little bit about M Spotlight. But I know you kind of have an interesting story about how you got connected up with the whole Harry Chapin phenomenon.
Well, like probably the majority of his fans, we enjoyed his music on the radio. And then my husband and I, he was my boyfriend at the time, and I was in high school. We went to a Harry Chapin concert, and we were just awestruck. His ability to connect with the audience, his storytelling, and then the hours that he spent with his audience afterwards, and just his casual manner. That's exactly the type of people that we were, jeans, hippies, t-shirts, long hair, all that stuff. And I was awed at his music ability, his guitar playing, his band, but I just felt like he was a regular guy.
Yeah. And how many times did you get a chance to see him?
Well, it used to be he came every October, and I don't know exactly, but I know it was over 10 times.
Wow.
And it kind of got to be funny because my family was like, oh, it's October. When are you seeing Harry Chapin?
Well, you're going to have a lot of jealous people out there because we talked to so many people that saw him once, or like me, I saw him twice or never saw him, but still, can feel that spirit, which is always amazing to me. That, boy, how did you experience Harry without ever seeing him live? But it transcends.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. So after getting that feeling of awe and all of that, how has that played into, well, let's start with M Spotlight. Tell us a little bit of the backstory about how that got started, and then how your kind of relationship with the Harry phenomenon has really kind of played a part in all that.
Well, we were back in the cassette days, and I used to play cassettes in the car, and the kids would say, do we have to listen to this old music? And I'd say, it's the History Channel. Enjoy it. But of course, they learned to love his music, and just the themes that he had in his music, the stories, really helped confirm with my husband and I what kind of people we wanted to be, what kind of parents we wanted to be. The flowers are red. I was a school teacher, and I was like, when I heard that song, I was like, are you kidding me? A teacher would say that to a kid? Right. And of course, we raised our kids with the freedom to be who they wanted to be. At least we tried the best we could. Sure. That's what all parents do. And so our kids knew, and a matter of fact, I would quiz them, who's this on the radio? And they'd say, Old Sweet Harry. So they know him as Old Sweet Harry. And he was just such a part of our lives. And unfortunately, my daughter passed away in a car accident, very similar to Harry's, when she was 19. Wow. And she had been dancing all of her life and loved it, had a passion for it, and she had a passion for other people. So she wanted to open, this was when she was younger, wanted to open a dance studio where everyone was welcome. She had obsessive compulsive disorder, and she used to ask me, does our insurance pay for this? Because she knew dance was somewhat of a hardship because it's expensive. Right. And I'd say no. And she said, but it's more important to me than my medicine as far as keeping me on track with school and all that other stuff. And so I said, no, it doesn't. And she says, well, what happens when people need dance like I do but they can't afford it. And I said, well, I guess they just don't do it. And she said, that's wrong. We need to do something about that. So like every good parent is like, great idea, way to think of other people. We'll do that someday. And someday never came. And then she said, well, what about all these shoes that everybody's, because, you know, all of her dance friends would get these new fancy shoes, even though their old ones weren't worn out. And she'd say, you know, what do they do with their old shoes? I said, I have no idea. And she said, well, we need to collect them and give them to people that are in dance. And maybe they could stay in dance longer because it helps with the funding of dance. So I said, again, that's a great idea. We'll do that someday. Well, after she had her car accident and she passed away, then my husband and my son and I, we all said, we have to do something to carry her dream because it was such a fabulous dream. She was 19 and she'd already saved over $5,000 to open her studio.
Wow.
So, and you know, that was 14 years ago. So that was even more money than it is today.
Oh.
So we took that initial 5,000 and we started M Spotlight. And what we end up doing now, 14 years later, we go to children in the school that they attend in the summer, and we go to 9 different buildings, and we give them free dance lessons twice a week for 8 weeks. They get their shoes, the music, of course, the dance teachers. I don't teach them dance. And then we fit them in costumes, and we have a photographer, a professional photographer that goes down, brings his lights and his backdrops to every school, and the kids get a group picture and 3 individual pictures. Then we have a big recital at the end of the summer, and we do half of them on one night and half on another night, and it's as close to a dance school studios experience as we can get with them not coming to us. So their parents don't have to do anything but show up at the recital and take their free pictures. We keep the kids at their school. We transport them to the location of the recital, which is a performing arts high school here in Kansas City. And we feed them dinner, let them practice on stage, get them in their costumes, and then they dance. And we do that for 400 kids in the summer.
Wow.
So now that's just our summer program. During the winter, we have taught special needs children at the school that they go to, special needs adults at a daycare for special needs adults. We do senior citizens, and all this is basically what we say is people with limited opportunities, but it's mostly financial.
It's one of those things that for the kids, I would think this is one of those things that they're going to remember the rest of their life. Hopefully it goes on beyond that, right? As far as further in dance and all of that. But even if they don't, it's one of those key points in life that, wow, remember that, you know, we all have them, right? We have that little thing. And when I hear you describe that, I'm going, I bet the vast majority of them are like, wow, I'm never going to forget this for the rest of my life.
You know, when you do 400 kids a year for as many years as we've been doing it, that's a lot of kids to go through. And I will see a kid at a grocery store, like a senior in high school man, big kid. Yeah. And he'll just be standing there smiling at me, kind of a goofy smile. And I'll look at him, I'll say, hi. And he goes, hi. And I'll say, oh, you're one of my dancers. And he turned to his dad and he said, I told you she'd remember me.
Wow.
And
it's got to be a thrill.
Through the conversation, he was like in 2nd grade when he took dance with us. So I think you're right. They remember it for a long time.
Do you ever stop and think just how insightful Em was to think that this is something that's really going to have some power behind it if we actually go and do it?
I think, yeah, I am amazed. I just wish she was here doing it with me. Mm-hmm. But it may not have happened. I don't know. You know, you have to take life as it comes to you. And I know I've had people say to me, oh my gosh, I don't know how you do it. And I said, you have a choice. You either shrivel up and die, or you go forward. And I chose to go forward, and my husband and my son. in a joyous manner that really honors Emily and what she wanted to do. And now where Harry Chapin comes into this is we were looking for funds. We went through that $5,000 pretty fast.
Yeah,
and we were looking for funds, and I saw the Harry Chapin Foundation. Well, actually, we had come to Terrytown for a reunion of the band, and so we went. We're talking to Jen, and when we came home, I said, "Why don't we hit hunger through the back door and get these kids to the point where they can succeed in life, and then they can help people that are hungry. They can help the poor."
right.
So, it's the Harry Chapin Foundation has helped support us for years, and we're very grateful for it. And, my husband has all the Imagine t-shirts and all the wonderful things that you can buy at the stores. And it's just, in my teaser before, I said, all my life's a circle, and it is. It's come around, and Harry's always kind of been in there. So even though I didn't have a personal relationship with Harry, I feel like I have a person.
Yeah, no, everybody does, and I think you pegged it, so well in your discussion about everything leads back to trying to figure out a way to help people help themselves. I mean, that's what the foundation's all about. And things like dance, and both of my kids went through all kinds of dance things. And I think it was one of the things that really helped them build self-esteem, confidence, working with people, all those sorts of things. And they had lots of advantages, don't get me wrong. But if you didn't have a lot of advantages, that's even huger, if that's a word.
Everybody talks about sports, which is great, and the teamwork that comes with it. But not everybody's sports minded. So this gives these kids a chance to be on a team.
Well, Vicki, thanks so much for joining us today for this celebration for Harry's 75th birthday. And it's just always inspiring to hear you talk about what's going on there. And we're going to move on right now. We've got a lot of other folks. I hope you can.
Just have one more thing to say. I want to say, Harry, happy birthday. And until we all get together again.
Absolutely. Love it. All right, Vicki. We'll talk to you soon. And for those who are online right now, just a reminder that we've got a little website called betterplacetobe.org. And during this little Facebook celebration, we've been fortunate to have a couple donors come to us, and we have about $6,000 in matching funds. So every dollar that you put forward on, looking for some memorabilia or just simply making a donation will be matched 1-to-1. So you can go ahead and go look at the store. You'll see through things. And I think we're going to have a shot of the store. It's not showing up. But anyways, through the store, you're going to see all types of memorabilia, including some platinum, double platinum, and gold albums that are really special out there. And so we're going to have those up there for the remainder of the time. And we hope you have a chance to go and take a look. And of course, any donation, whether it's $5, is truly appreciated. So coming up, stay tuned, and we'll be back in a few minutes with some more interviews.